Hello, welcome. This is The Three of Us, a companion show to HBO's The Last of Us. This is a spoiler discussion where we talk about the show, the games, the comic book, everything. This is Season 1, Episode 9, the final episode in Season 1 of The Last of Us for HBO. Like I said, this is a companion piece. My name is Vincent. I'm also here with...
your other co-host, Kyle.
And...
Michael.
Hello, fellas. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
This is the end of 8 weeks, a little longer than 2 months, and I'm going to start it the way I've started every other episode we've done of this. How did you feel about this episode?
Best one.
Really?
It was good.
Hands
It was really
down.
good.
Hands down, best one.
Yeah.
What makes you feel that?
But we actually got to see Ellie. The real Ellie. That's one.
I did feel like this is the closest we've gotten to in-game Ellie. Just her kind of like walking with Joel. This part of the show felt the most like the game did, honestly.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I want to talk about real quick. We get to see a little bit of Anna. We get to see who Ellie's mom was.
Yes.
And I was afraid I wasn't going to like this. But the whole time I was on my couch crying, I was just like, "Oh God!" Like you get to see Ellie be born. You get to see and like to hear. Maybe this is because I played too much of these games, but just to hear Ashley Johnson like grunt, I
Oh
felt
my God, yes.
right.
Oh my God.
Wasn't it stupid to hear the little? I was like, you know how many hours of that she must have recorded just to get like. Getting a clicker off of her, I almost said a creeper. You know where my head's at. Just to like there's just hearing her talk. I wrote down, I have here in my notes, tell him, Ellie, got me. Something about that when I watched the episode both times made me cry. I think it's maybe just the emotional connection I have to the character that is Ellie. Also, right. I think it's weird that they made a point in the subtitles to refer to her as Ellie Williams, but never in the show. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. Maybe just me, but it was something that I picked up on and I was like, oh, that's weird.
Nah, I don't watch with subtitles.
Really?
I don't watch shows with subtitles.
Really? What about movies?
Yeah. No.
Jesus Christ, how?
God, because I'm paying attention.
Oh, I can't watch something without subtitles.
No. I mean, I watch like certain stuff with subtitles, but like I'm not like everyday go-to show. I'm not watching with subtitles.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. So how'd you feel about seeing Ashley Johnson, hearing Ashley Johnson? Michael, I know you had
God. It was beautiful. and she had a knife too.
Yeah. And that's how Ellie got her knife. And she's had that thing her entire life. And did you watch this with Mom, Michael?
Yeah.
I was talking to Mom today and she was like, I can't believe how much that woman looks like Ellie. Like from the game. I was like, yeah, I know. They do that on purpose so it's easier to make it all fit together. But just, it was nice to see her. I have written here, I actually have physical notes. I've been saying for the past 4 episodes and now I finally have them. Dude doesn't even cover the baby's ears, which really pissed me off.
Oh, yeah.
For like such a stupid reason. I was like, cover the baby's ears.
I don't fully understand how that clicker chased her all the way there.
What do you mean?
Because like she's running through the forest and then she gets to the house, shuts it, and she's up almost halfway up the steps. So how did it know she was in the house?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like it was just like, and then she got into the room, shut it, then like how did it know?
I thought it was in the house. I thought she was just running.
No, because it breaks.
It was chasing her through the woods.
Because
it looked like she lost sight of it.
Yeah, but maybe because there's nothing else there, just her running was enough for the echolocation. Because you would think I didn't even think of this because it breaks through. See, I get it getting to the house, but I think it coming upstairs is a little harder to believe.
Because she was like by the time I got to the house, she was already like taking her time on the stairs a little bit, and then she was already in the room. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
I don't
my
know.
first thought was, oh, she was bit, so knows about the bite. But then it was like, oh no, she didn't get bit till it was on her. So like that kind of just like that was a little weird.
Maybe she was already bit.
No, because she didn't get bit until it happened, and then the baby happened. That's why Ellie isn't immune.
See, how did you feel about that? Because I felt like that was an explanation that wasn't really needed.
It was fine. I mean,
it was interesting just to show how like she like became immune to it.
Yeah, it was one of those things where like to me it doesn't matter because all I know is that she got bitten and it didn't take. Like it didn't mean anything to me. You know what I mean? Like she didn't turn.
Right.
Like it didn't matter to me. It just all that mattered to me was, oh, Ellie got bit. Like I don't care that her mom, not that I don't care about her mom, but I didn't care that the mom got bit and she could have known her whole life. Like that, none of that meant any, whatever. That's not important. What is important is the next thing I have up here. Does anybody want to say anything else about the relationship between Marlene and Anna?
Yeah, the fact that she was just going to leave her there.
Oh, Marlene?
Yeah.
Yeah, Marlene's a piece of shit. Marlene's been a piece of shit. Like, Marlene, at the end of the show, abandons, like, she's like, hey, take care of my kid, and then is just like, hey, we're going to kill the kid.
Yeah.
And then how she just walks in and just shoots her?
I understood that a little more because it's trying to show that it's hard for her and she just wants to get it over with. But she didn't even say goodbye. Like, she just did it. She just walked in, she was like, see ya, and bam, it was over. Like, there's no tact in this? So and then it cuts to Joel, it cuts to Ellie, and it's almost like one for one from how I remember from the game of it just cutting to that close up of Ellie sitting in the back of the truck. And just listening to them walk and talk felt like the game in a way that I felt like we haven't really had. Like I feel like the last time we had that was like the beginning of episode 3, and that was really it with Bill and Frank. Because it's like them walking and talking about the pre stuff and then them getting there and walking into Bill's town. Like all of that felt like the game with them interacting. And then this, right. you see Joel open up and you see him joke and like...
I'll teach you how to play guitar.
Yeah, Boggle.
Yeah.
like, it feels like how they were, especially the latter part. That latter part, I felt like it was like the exact scene from the game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was her dropping it.
Just I know we're like, I'm not trying to get right into the thing that happens that makes this, I'm trying to like ease our way into it. But I just want to say real quick, guys, real giraffe! Kyle, you doubting Thomas, you told me they weren't going to get a real giraffe. And they got a real giraffe. You don't think that was a real giraffe?
That's not a real giraffe.
That was a real giraffe.
Show me where. You need to look this up right now and prove.
Kyle, they said it was a real giraffe.
Not real back screen. That was a green screen, whatever effect.
Yeah, the green screen was there. Kyle, you didn't see the giraffe's tongue touching Bella Ramsey's hand?
That was not a real tongue.
No, eat my ass. That was a real tongue. Hold on.
I think when they were walking away, that was fake.
Yeah, that was fake. Hold on, my oven's going off.
All right, you're right. They used a real trained giraffe and then abandoned hospital for the final. You have me freaking out about the horse now. Now I'm like, nah, it's not a real giraffe. That's a fake giraffe. CG.
I thought it was fake at first.
I thought it was fake too, because I was like, oh, this looks CGI.
Yeah. When you first saw it, it didn't even look real.
Yeah.
Why does he have his oven on?
I don't know.
That was a real giraffe.
That was a real trained giraffe named Nabu.
I told you. Nabu?
Yeah, but Nabu.
What?
In the beginning, it looked fake.
No, me too.
It looked, yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, oh, here's the two people in a costume.
You got me on like fake animal alert because of the horse.
No, I genuinely enjoyed seeing a real ass giraffe. It's a sweet moment. Like it reminds me of the game. It's good. Everything about it was just well done. The whole speech of it all can't be for nothing. How did you guys feel about Joel's suicide attempt?
I mean, I would have expected that.
I liked it. Have you talked about it?
I never expected that.
I feel like that he trusts her now with everything,
Mm-hmm.
and he cares about her now. But you see how he talks about like his daughter? Like he just like talks freely about it now.
Well, it was that thing too where he's like, what was I can't remember. He's like, he didn't have a purpose or anything, and then he found something, and he didn't want to say it was her.
Oh, she goes, time heals all wounds, and he goes, it's not time. And like, I kind of like the messaging of that because like I hate the saying things get better because they don't. You just learn how to deal with it better. But like, he loves her. Like like in this episode, all the qualms that I've had about their relationship seeming too rushed. This episode, I genuinely believe that Joel loved Ellie. Like I genuinely thought like this is a man who cared, like maybe a little too much even. Like cares maybe a little too much about her. Like I liked that they showed that. It's something that you would have thought would have happened. I don't remember Joel having a scar in game, to be honest.
I don't think he did.
But like,
I don't think he did,
the idea of him like, yeah, I was ready to do it. I did it, and then I stopped, and now I'm here, and now you're here, and we have to figure this out together. Let's just talk about it, guys. Let's just talk about it. Let's stop butting around. Let's just talk about it. They get ambushed, kind of like they are in game. Not really. And then Joel wakes up in the hospital. Ellie's not there, and Marlene explains to Joel that we are going to kill Ellie, take the cordyceps out of her brain, do something with it, and then make a vaccination, and we have a real chance.
Did they explain it more in game of what like would have happened? Because like I like how they explain it where it's like Ellie's basically immune because they think she's one of them.
That's, I think, as far as they really go in game, if I remember correctly. I don't remember if they're like, they don't explain it as much as they do in show. And I actually have a note written down about it because it's another one of those things that doesn't really matter to me. Like it seems like an over explanation because it seems like we know she's here for something. Just get it on with. Right. Like they didn't even try to make it. They didn't try to make a vaccine using her blood. It was
well. That's the interesting part of that is like this is not really a vaccine. It's like a shield. You know what I mean? It's not curing it. It's just thinking, oh, we're also infected.
Yeah, but isn't that like what the flu shot is? Like, isn't that what a flu vaccine? Well, I guess it's not a vaccine then.
It's not really. Yeah, it's not a vaccine. It's not curing it or whatever. It's just making them think you're one of them. So, I
had a COVID shot and I had a COVID booster. I still got COVID. So,
you're gonna still get sick from it, but it's not like gonna kill the parasite.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's gonna make it's like The Walking Dead. Like, oh, let's cover ourselves in blood and guts, and then the walkers think we're one of them. That's basically like that. We're just covering ourselves in fungus, but the fungus is not gonna take our minds over.
See, and that's why I think it's such an over explanation that didn't need to happen. Because
I like at least there's at least people in the world that like are trying to figure it out, and not like, oh, we don't know what it is. It's just taken over. It's like some people know what are going to find out.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that I'm surprised
which makes doctors and scientists more important in that world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, okay. So speaking of doctors and scientists, we get pretty close to what happens in game. Marlene's like, take him out, give him his stuff, let him go. He did what he had to do. And
we didn't get the ball shots.
The what?
In the game, he shoots the guy in the balls twice.
Michael, did you remember this?
Mm-mm.
I didn't remember this either.
He pushes him up against the wall, takes his pistol, and shoots him in the balls, and goes, I don't have time for this. Where? And he shoots him again.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have no memory of that.
Yeah.
I remember the part where he was like, tell me, and he shoots him. I remember that. I don't remember the ball shot though.
He holds it in that position, in that area. He holds the gun.
So before we hold on, I want to just back up a tiny bit before we get to the whole killing montage because I have some things to say about it. Do you feel like they should have told Ellie it was going to kill her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm watching it from the perspective of knowing what happens in the second game. And knowing what happens in the second game when Ellie rides a horse all the way, I think it's Shimmer, takes Shimmer all the way to Salt Lake City again, finds the recordings, and is like, Joel, I wanted to do this, and you took this away from me.
Yeah. Well, in the show, she's like, this is all worth it and stuff like that. She would have I think she would have chose to do that after seeing like Sam die and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think she would have made the choice to.
She gives that speech. She's like, Riley died, and then Tess died, and then Sam died. Yeah. So, okay, I wanted this, the shootout, first off, felt very much like the game. That hospital feels incredibly well done.
Yeah.
It doesn't look one for one. It's also at night in the game. But, like, it's very, very, very accurate. Even if it's not one for one, it is very accurate to how that looks in game. Joel going from hallway to hallway, shooting out, just feels right. Like, it just feels...
kills everyone.
And I have written down here that it's edited... Joel's violent montage is edited like he's disassociating, like he's not in his body.
Yeah, like, that's why we were just hearing the music and not anything else.
Yeah, everything's muffled. He's not even like... He's just blindly reacting.
Yeah.
Like, he's not and I think that's so well done. He's just switching guns. The one part where he just stabs that guy for, like, no reason.
Yeah.
The guy puts his gun down... And
I thought that was a cool nod too. Like, he was always picking up different guns, and just like that's what everybody else does in the game too.
Yeah, but here's my thing. This made his speech with Ellie, like everything he does, and we're gonna get to the big question, which Kyle, I think you and I have had the conversation before, and I think looking at it through the television lens versus the game lens is going to be very different.
I feel like this because how
we'll get
accurate
there.
This was.
Yeah.
Helped more of that decision and like what the game showed. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Okay, so we'll get there because I wanna talk about it at the end. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? We've talked about this endless. Okay. So he goes through this entire rampage and eventually gets to Ellie.
Well, before that, I found an Easter egg. I sent to you on Twitter.
Yes.
When he turns a corner, where the nurses like Booth is the receptionist, there's somebody shooting at him, and then somebody starts running away, and people think that's Abby.
Get the fuck out of here! You sent me this on Twitter?
Sent you on Twitter. It's a scene of like somebody's booking it, running away from where they're shooting at.
Oh shit! I didn't even see this, Kyle. What the?
Yeah.
Yo. So here's my thing now. The number one complaint that I remember seeing with Last of Us 2 is you see Abby and all of her friends and what happens to them slowly, and everyone being like, you just introduced these characters to me, I have no relationship with them. That's why I think if they do a second season, or the second game as the second season, they have to pan it out into 2 seasons. Because I need reason...
It's probably going to be 3 seasons. They said that season 2 probably won't... It's not going to be the full game. It can't be the full game.
But it shouldn't be the full game. Because Manny, I think his name was, the only thing I knew about Manny is that he was friends with Abby, he was Mexican, and he was a womanizer. And then he got shot by Tommy. That's all I know. And like, I love The Last of Us 2, and I kind of like the ambiguity of Abby's friends, but at the same time, I needed to know more about them. As much as that's a 10 out of 10 game to me. But I would have loved it. Like, also, we need to see more of Seraphites. I need to know why Abby hates Seraphites. Not just because they're the people who are against the Washington Liberation Front. I need to know why they're bad. I need to know why they're a cult. Like, I think 4 seasons for the show is perfect. They're gonna wind up doing 3, but 4 works out fine. Or 3 works out fine.
4 I saw that, but I think they said, like, they're gonna focus on stuff. They're gonna focus on what happens after this. So we'll probably get the astronaut stuff and like that. And I think they also wanted to tell some other stories in between too.
Also, the what is it called? Like the play that they put on,
right?
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was that thing that they like closed the doors and they're like, only people that are here for this special event gets to see like exactly what happened after the game that I've never watched. I've actually never seen it, and I was waiting to see that. They also never referenced the comic. And I was waiting to see if this if this episode, because of Anna being in it, referenced the comic, because in that comic, Marlene finds Ellie and Riley at some point, and maybe this has been retconned because of how Riley says that she met Marlene, but like she runs into the two of them and is very much like, I know your mom, stop being a dick, to Ellie.
Right.
So, I mean, that's super paraphrasing, but where were we? That was Kyle. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Abby? Damn. So her dad, right? He busts in the room, and Joel,
without hesitation,
without even, he's like, I won't let you do this, and he picks up a scalpel and he just blows him away. Yep. And then just tells the two, which is if that, well, no, that couldn't. You think that's going to be Abby, or you think because Laura Bailey? Did you know Laura Bailey's the nurse?
Yeah.
Michael, did you know that?
Yeah. I was on Twitter looking at it right now.
You have Twitter?
Yeah.
Since when did you have a Twitter?
I've always had.
Well, and you didn't tell me. I thought Laura Bailey was going to wind up being Abby. Like, I assumed she was just going to wind up playing her.
No.
You don't think
they're
so?
going to cast somebody that's...
muscular?
Laura Bailey was not that... Yeah, muscular.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely going to hire somebody that's really like a muscular person.
I just assumed that they were
much younger.
How old is Laura Bailey?
Probably in her 40s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought she was young.
No.
She just voices everything. I was watching the Telltale Batman series.
Mm-hmm.
Not Nolan North. What's his name? She's Catwoman, and then Bruce Wayne is Joel. I'm sitting there going, that's not a half bad Bruce Wayne. I was like, who voices him? And then I heard him, and I'm sitting there going, Ellie, get to the Batmobile. I was like, holy shit. No, he kills. What is his name? That doctor's name. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I want to say it's like David. I think that's wrong, but he kills him, no hesitation. Takes Ellie, goes to the car, puts her in the car, and Marlene's like, you gotta stop. And honestly, I was more creeped out by Joel here than I was in the game. The whole, like, before this happens, Ellie says to him that he's going to follow her anywhere. He trusts her and knows that he wants to keep her safe, right? This isn't like something that's hidden. It's very obvious. They love each other at this point. They care deeply about one another at this point. And when they're in the car and she's asking questions, he says sorry at one point. And I think in that moment, he knows that he's wrong. And he's saying sorry because he's denying her what she wanted. Because even at the end, when she's like, swear to me that what we did was the right thing, she knows he's lying. It's in game, it's in show. She's very, I mean, it's like a central plot point of the second game is that she can't get over the fact that she knows that she's been lied to. They
confirmed it in the podcast wrap up.
What?
That she knew actually was talking about it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
And then Neil was like, she has a great bullshit detector. She knew.
Just like, that's why
that whole card scene was just like, ooh,
yeah,
you evil man. Like,
there's little things about this that really do it for me. The hallway felt like the hallway when you walk up to get her in game, which you then later go back to as Ellie and as Abby and walk through that same hallway. But like, you get to this point where this is the thing that I think people are going to miss out because they're going to kill Joel in the second or third season. Probably the beginning of the third.
I think it's going to be the end.
Either the end of 2 or beginning of 3. Around there, they'll kill Joel off. But Joel's not the good guy. Joel's not the hero of this story. If anything, he's the antagonist. Like, yeah, you get guys like David. You get guys like Kathleen. You get people that are like the Raiders that show up. You get the clickers. You get any sort of infected. Yes, the protagonist of this series in every form is Ellie until Ellie herself becomes the antagonist. Because the same reason I love the first Red Dead. The second Red Dead can go f itself. I hate that game. But the first Red Dead, That's not the game. That game is not about John Marston. It's about Jack Marston and how John is doing everything in his power to make sure that his son doesn't turn out to be just like him, just in the end for his son to be the last cowboy and do what his father never wanted him to do, and that's avenge his death. So now you get Ellie. Do I have it written here? Like, Joel so selfishly now is talking to Ellie. Like, I was kind of disgusted, to be completely honest. He's now talking to Ellie about Sarah openly. Like you said earlier, Michael, he's like, oh, the two of you would have got along. Not, she's a little more girly. Not that you're not girly. Like, and that also, I think, plays to the whole nuance being dead, that people don't understand what a joke is. People don't understand that there's subtlety in things, because now you say one thing wrong and Twitter's on your ass. As much as I like this series, Neil's a little guilty of that shit, but like him saying like, oh, I think you guys would have been friends, it almost feels like I know this isn't the point and this isn't the relationship they have, but it felt a little groomy. Like when you see a groomer be like, oh, you're so mature for your age. Like it kind of felt like he was just trying to win her. You know what I mean? Like it didn't feel like they had a genuine relationship. It felt like he was just like, but we're cool, right? Like we're friends, right? Like this is what it is. He's like, he has this He has this want of her wanting to be his daughter. And it's like, dog, that's not what it is. She's not your kid. Like, don't get me wrong. I know that Joel loves Ellie, but I feel like he loves her way too much. He loves her almost an injustifiable amount. Like, he gives the whole justification speech to her where she's like, Riley died, Tess died, Sam dies. And he's like, no, that's not your fault. He's like, you hit a point and sometimes things don't seem like they are what they are. And I think in that moment, that's when she knows. Like, I just think that's the moment where she's like, you're lying to me. But she doesn't want to believe it because she cares about Joel so much. Like she saved Joel's life. Maybe a little selfishly because she wanted to get to this hospital. But also she saved Joel's life because she gave a shit about Joel. And he just took away her purpose. And he says, you hit a wall and it's not the way you think it is. And then she says, swear to me. And he's like, I swear. And she sits there and she ponders it and she goes, okay. And it cuts to black, right? Great ending. Kind of sucked when you played the game 10 years ago, 13 years ago, however long ago it was when it came out. When you played the game and then you don't play it for a really long time and you forget what the ending is and you think it's even worse. But like, what an ending. And and she knows that he's lying. And the whole time I'm sitting there watching it going like I'm just like, I've never been that disgusted with Joel. And I feel like people just didn't get that at the first time around because of how upset they were the second time around when The Last of Us came back. Because they were so upset when Joel died. I don't know. I'm sorry. I feel like I've rambled a bit. Does anybody have anything they want to say?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good episode. It's a very good episode. It
emphasized on like, because you get more out of like them than like in the game or like emotion stuff like that. But it made me like the guy again, the truck scene where he's just lying about it, and it's just like, ooh man, you're digging your own grave. Yeah. You're digging your own grave.
So like
also the Marlene stuff when when Joel kills her and he's like, you'll just come for her, and he kills her. I'm like, no, Joel, they're coming for you now. Yeah, it's not even about her anymore. They don't care about her. They're coming for you. And that's the thing is like, you sealed your fate right there. And you know what's wild that I never even put two and two together? Abby is 10 times more a compassionate human being than Joel is, because Ellie watches the death in front of her, watches the death of the closest thing she's had to like a parental figure in her life. And Abby goes, let her go. Yeah. Like Ellie is Marlene in that situation, and she could have killed her because Abby didn't think she's going to come for that's going to happen. None of that was thought of. Beautiful. It's beautifully put. It turned my stomach in such a disgusting way, in such a way that I enjoyed. This is a fantastic piece, not just of television, a fantastic piece of fiction. Just a very well written. And also, you know what? I'm going to ask it because I want to talk about it anyway. Michael, I don't know if I've ever had this conversation with you, but I've had this conversation with Kyle
numerous amounts of times. And this is a question. This is what I think the entire series boils down to. I kind of wanted to keep this. I don't want it to be too inside baseball, but every single episode of this podcast, this show, this watch along series, whatever you want to call it, for the timestamps on YouTube, I've put questions as timestamps, and I've done that for a very particular reason. And I feel like that's because The Last of Us is a series of questions. It's a series of questions and cause and effect. Something happens because of it. It's a series that the good feels as good as the low hurts, the highs and the lows. The good feels as good as the bad hurts, if that makes any sense. So every single, and I've done this since episode 1, Kyle, before Michael, before you were here, I've done this every single episode with this in mind, and I've asked questions. The timestamps will be like, what do you think of the episode? Do you think anything else could have been done differently? Do you think X or Y was justified, and for what reasons? And now I ask the ultimate question that I feel like every single game, every single piece of Last of Us media comes back to. Do you think that Joel is justified in the choice that he makes to rob No, I feel like that's too leading. Excuse me. Do you feel that Joel is justified in the choice that he makes to take Ellie away from the Fireflies at the end of the game or show? And I ask you guys that. Kyle, since I already know your answer, I want to know Michael's first.
Yep.
So, Michael, do you feel like Joel is justified in taking Ellie away?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why?
All right, let's say, what if I was in that situation and you were Joel?
And I was Joel?
What would you? Yeah.
Do you want me to be completely honest?
Yeah.
They make a vaccine out of you and I kill myself. Because I'm not going to be able to live with myself. I'm not going to be able to live with myself, but humanity goes on. Humanity, here's the thing. Humanity is going to continue no matter what. And this is the thing that, like, I was thinking about. It's not regular zombies. Like, if this was Romero zombies or even Walking Dead zombies or traditional zombies in any sense, they're decaying bodies. So, and they're decaying bodies that have no sense of spatial awareness. They're almost like, they're worse than toddlers. They don't have object permanence, right? Traditional zombies. A zombie bumps into a wall, let's say 400 times a day just from meandering around the mall. Eventually their arm is going to fall off because they're not regenerating new skin. Zombies at most are a 2-year problem. Everybody sits inside for 2 years and we're done. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not that big of a deal. Once all the zombies are gone, then you can kind of like keep breeding and go on from there. This is a situation where the zombies are going to continue to grow because of the cordyceps. This isn't like we need to wait. They're not even zombies. They're infected, which is a big difference. These zombies can run. Zombies cannot run because if a decaying body were to run, the ankles and the knees and the hips would snap and they'd be just a torso crawling. And eventually the arms, the fingers would give out because it's decaying body. This is something that needs to be taken care of. And they never say it's 100% chance that what they can do with this vaccine or this shield or this inoculation, whatever, could cure this. But it can make it where the cordyceps don't infect. You have a way, and yeah, I don't think we want humanity to come back to the way it is now. Places like Jackson exist successfully. Places where there is no money, thank God. Everything's based off a barter system. They're trading. They're making sure that everybody's taken care of. Everybody has a place that is theirs, but it's communal and it works. And honestly, that seems like the world that maybe we should live in. But imagine being able to do that without the threat of infected. All you have to worry about is the threat of others. You don't have a police system because the police just become corrupt because they hold all the power. Nobody's chasing money because that's all you want. But if you can do that without the infected, I think you're robbing humanity of a great gift. I really do. I think Joel dooms, and I've seen the arguments of, okay, how are we going to get vaccinations to all these people? I've seen that. But also, it starts small, man. It starts so small. You get Salt Lake City to have it. Please.
Like Rick Grimes said, we are the Walking Dead, you know?
Does he say that in this show?
Yeah, he does. Say that in the show.
That's awful. There was a thing I saw that it's a Photoshop of The Last of Us 2, and it's where they're at. You might have sent it to me, Kyle. I don't remember. Maybe I sent it to you. It's Ellie and Joel talking, and it's like Ellie's like crying, and Joel's like, he looks all distraught, and he goes, "It seems like we truly are the last of us." And it's Ellie going, "Yeah, I was thinking we are the last of us too."
Tune us in when we all watch the Walking Dead and review that.
No, I don't think I can. That's like 15 seasons.
I'm
dude.
joking.
I liked it a lot when it came out, but we got to get that thing over there. Okay, we're going to go get it. There's something in the way. Oh, no. But no, Michael, I want to hear more about why you think it's justified.
Because I feel like that's the closest thing he had again. And he would do anything this time. Because I feel like the first time, he really couldn't do much. And this time, he makes sure that he gets it done. And he doesn't lose her. You know what I mean? And I feel like with that mindset of his daughter that he loved closely and just died right in front of him and he couldn't do anything about it. But this time he can actually like keep her alive by killing everyone in the hospital. That's why.
Did Mom tell you how she felt about that?
No, she just said that she can tell that when it was happening that it wasn't him. Yeah, because when the music was playing, that it was like a whole different person.
It's
like he saw someone and they were dead. Like you see that person, they're dead.
Didn't care.
That's how it was.
He didn't care. He just wanted to shoot. Yeah. He just that person wasn't Ellie, and that's all. That was
Mr. Joel Halo there, you know.
Yeah. No, it's Kyle. I'll ask you this question again, my man. Do you feel like Joel's actions are justified?
Nope.
Would you care to elaborate?
Yeah. Like again, like Michael said about like he wasn't wasn't the same person there. It was a selfish act.
Yeah.
Even Marlene said it's like, oh, so Joel, you're gonna die. Ellie's gonna go on, either get killed by clickers or by bandits or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, that's true. It could happen. That definitely could happen. But like, you're taking that possibility of those infected going away.
Yeah.
And like, this all started with those infected, which then people got scared of, and then your daughter died. So now you're just keeping that possibility to happening again.
Instead of Joel sitting there thinking, maybe someone else won't lose their daughter like me. And yeah, I had to lose my daughter twice now, but it won't happen to somebody else. He can't see past his own selfish ways.
Yeah.
Maybe if he didn't have a daughter, I feel like.
Maybe.
And what would happen?
Yeah.
I feel like that.
There
could be so many like what ifs in this.
Yeah. I think what makes it worse is just him lying to her. I think him just lying to her and being like, they had other people. No, they had other people. Like, I think that's worse. Like, if he would have just said, hey, look, it got raided, everybody's dead. I barely got you out alive. That's different.
If the David stuff happened, there would be a different outcome.
You think he would have let it happen?
Yeah. Because it is that moment where he loses her, and then at the end there he says, baby girl, that was the moment.
That's the moment that he loves her.
She was
again.
her daughter.
Yeah.
Yep. See, if that moment didn't happen, I think there would have been a possibility they would have told Ellie. Or not even, like, depends. It depends on if they got there successfully or they got flashbanged in the hole.
The whole series is cause and effect. Like, I mean, I know that's everything, but when you strip it down, it's X happens, then Y. This happens, then that. Like, I was watching something about the making of the second game, and they knew going into it, no matter what the ending was going to be, that Ellie loses her fingers. They knew that because they're like, Joel teaches her how to play guitar. One of the last things that she has that reminds her of Joel is just playing the guitar. That's gone. That's not happening. Like,
it's a revenge thing too. Like we saw it with the lady, or she wanted revenge so much that half her community and now is all dead. And she's dead.
Yeah. You couldn't just let
revenge
go.
has a price.
Beautifully put. Just it's this. And like I said, I think it was last episode, it went Joel losing his daughter, Joel losing Tess, Bill and Frank. This one went Ellie and Riley, everything that happens with David, which is kind of a parallel in a weird way of the second episode. And then this one, which is a parallel of the first episode. But Joel realizes that he has the power to make sure he doesn't lose his daughter again.
And that's a weird thing to like look back on too, because like at that point, Tess is a dead memory because Tess said save as many as you can, and Bill said save who you loved. So that was Tess was gone at that point.
And he listened to Bill, a man that didn't like him and he didn't like. He listened to Bill over someone that he was somehow romantically involved with.
Yeah.
Like it's rage is an evil thing. Revenge isn't, and I get that people are upset with the whole revenge bad story, and this one does it a little more subtle than the second one, but like it's just a cycle, and there's also, the generational trauma, because Ellie sees it, especially in the second one, Ellie sees it as, this is the man who saved my life. This is the man who got me to where I am today. I have to go avenge him. And then to the point where she can't eat, she can't sleep, and she tracks down Abby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What she lost from that.
Yeah, she lost. She didn't have to do it. It was over. And then she sits there in the water and looks, he doesn't even look at her and cries and goes, just take him. And she's not even talking about Lev. She's talking about Joel. Just take him. Just take him from me. This is a beautiful piece of television. This is a beautiful piece of fiction. Does anybody have anything else they want to say before I ask one of the final questions?
I got one.
Please.
You think if they make a part like a new season, right?
Yeah.
Do you think Abby's gonna be as jacked as she was in the game?
Probably.
Yes.
I think so, because Abby being as jacked as she is supposed to be that like no one can ever hurt me again. Like, it comes off that she's very smart, so nobody can hurt her mentally, but also because she's so physically strong, no one could ever physically hurt her. So no one could ever do the damage of seeing her father dead in front of her. No one could ever do that again because she's strong enough to make sure that that's why I think she kills Seraphites. Like, that's what I think it is. I think she just sees them as Joel. Like, I think that's what it comes down to. Like, it's her just needing an outlet for the anger that sits inside of her. When she can't do it from working out, she can't do it from trying to be smarter than the people around her, she needs to kill somebody. Like, she's addicted to killing Seraphites. She's good at it. Like, no one should ever be good at killing people. You know what I mean? Like, that's a sick, sadistic thing that's just in of itself.
OJ is.
Yo.
Also, even sitting at the scene where they're talking about, like, I'll go with the after we're done, Joel, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Joel's like, yeah, they're still evil. Or I forget what it was. It's like, there's so much evil out there. I'm sitting there going, You're the
evil.
You're... you
know what? It reminds me of a saying my mom always says. A leopard doesn't change its spots. Joel's evil. And I'm not saying Joel was always evil. They show Joel as the contractor. Like, they show that shit in the beginning of the show.
But he also had that rage.
Yeah. Does he have it pre-outbreak?
I think it's kind of like how David said too, was like to Ellie, like, I see the rage in you and stuff like that. Like the first freaking infected he hits, like, he's how hard he hits and stuff like that. Yeah. And, like, telling Sarah to get in the truck and stuff like that. Like,
see, I didn't think that as so much as rage as much as adrenaline running through his system.
Right.
But, like, you see the rage when he beats the shit out of the Fedra guard, and Ellie's like, oh, yeah, do it again. Like, he sees this little girl, like, almost as his daughter, almost instantly, and just beats the hell. A man he knew. You know what I mean? A man that he had, maybe they weren't friends, but he knew his name. He knew what drugs he liked. He knew what shit he was into. He helped him out, and he beat the hell out of him. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. Even going back to the Fedra agent says, you either make the choice to be good. Michael, you sent me the Bible verse that, like, it's referencing. You either choose to be good, you choose to be bad. You make your own choices. And that's what this entire series is you making choices. Oh, because we keep forgetting to bring it up. David brought up Pittsburgh, so we got that. Badam.
Right.
I know, like, 3 episodes ago.
That was also another thing I forgot to bring up is, like, would we, if you were still over here, would we been there?
been in Pittsburgh? No, there would have been a Philly one.
The QZ?
Nah, there would have been a Philly one. Philly was, what, 2 hours away? I think there would have been a Philly one. Honestly, Kyle, you'd...
People would probably be dead.
What?
We've probably been dead, because, like, Billstown showed, too, like, they took those people and just killed them on the side of the road.
Well, that, but also there's that other town. I don't want to say it because it's kind of close. You know what I'm talking about?
First letter.
It's got the mall?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Michael, you know what I'm talking about?
I'm pretty sure.
I think there'd be...
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I think there... You know where the good Italian place is that Mom took us last time I was home? I think Cole was with us. We were walking around. I think there would be a QZ. I think because that's a pretty big city. You know what I mean? Right. It's not a huge. It's honestly, that city is a lot like where I'm at. You know what I mean? It's about an hour away from the big city. Like it's very similar. I think that would be the QZ. I think also knowing the people that we lived around and the area that it is, we'd be kind of okay for a little bit longer because it's such a tiny place.
Right.
I'm not trying to get too into it. But no, I think the Pittsburgh QZ would be a bit too far, honestly. Mm. So I went back today. I had food poisoning. I can't catch a break. I'm just always sick, right? I had food poisoning, and I had the day off because I was just sick all weekend, right? And I needed to catch up on some sleep because you don't sleep when you have food poisoning. So I went back and I watched all of the reviews that we had done, right? So, Michael, you don't show up until episode 5. Mm-hmm. But Kyle, you gave episode 1 an 8. I gave it a 9.1. Kyle, you gave episode 2 a 9. I gave it an 8.3. Kyle gives episode 3 an 8. I give it an 8.4. Episode 4, Kyle gives a 9. I give a 9.25. Up until then, even on me going back and reading through this, that was my favorite episode. That's the one that ends, that's the first Kansas City episode that ends with Sam with the hero paint on him. Then episode 5 shows up, and Michael shows up. Kyle, you gave that a 9.5. Michael gives it an 8. I gave it a 7.9. Then we got the, what? I'm sorry.
Because it's the action.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot to read that. You gave it a 9.5. Michael gave it an 8, and I gave it a 7.9 missing toys out of 10. Then episode 6 rolls around, and you gave it 10 commie sheep out of 10. I gave it an 8. Or I'm sorry, Michael gave it an 8, and I gave it a 6.8 asshole target shooting things out of 10. 7, one of the best episodes. I don't know why I have it rated so low going back. I was actually kind of surprised that I did that. You have 10 out of 10 button combo presses. Michael gave it a 10, and I gave it an 8.3 pipe bombs in the taco shop. Looking back, I probably would have gave it about an 8.7, but whatever. It's neither.
Why did you give it a low thing? You gave it a low thing for a reason. I don't remember now.
It was because the mall was all lit up and shit, and how did no one else see that? It's little dumb shit, but honestly, looking back at my nitpicks, I'm like, stop being an asshole and enjoy this. And then episode 7, or I'm sorry, wait, hold on. No, the last one was episode 8 with David, right? Kyle, you gave it a 11 out of 10 goofy horses. Michael, you gave it an 8, and I gave it a 9.1 chunks of Alec out of 10. So here we are at episode 9, the final episode of season 1. And I ask you fellas a question.
I got a good one.
I ask you fellas the question that I ask at the end of every one of these episodes. What do you give this episode out of 10?
Should I go?
Please.
Mm-hmm. 25 out of 10 for Attack Alert Nuke. Incoming.
I gotta give this.
I had to walk off screen. You
have that kill streak going.
UAV inbound. Michael,
you think you got the nuke? He at least 30.
Yeah, no, he did. No, he went over. I remember watching a video once. The guy hit 50 kills, and then he got 2 nukes, but you can only call in 1. But anyway, Michael, what do you give it?
15 out of 10.
15 out of 10.
Really? I texted you today. So
no, I know. You said, and you see, I didn't want to not like talk to you about it when you were talking about it. I just wanted to save the conversation for here Because I don't know about you, but I know with me, if I talk about it somewhere else, I'll forget about it and forget to bring it up. So I'm sticking within the realm of the actual effing scoring system, fellas. This is a 9.7 out of 10. This is a 9.7 lies in a Dodge SUV minivan thing on the way to Jackson, Wyoming out of 10. This is such a beautiful way to end a series. It leaves you with more questions than it does answers. The ambiguity is beautiful. It makes you feel like you know these characters, and as soon as you got to know them, they're leaving you. It's a story about love, and it's a story about revenge, and it's a story about redemption, and it's a story about how a leopard doesn't really change his spots. It's a story about how revenge isn't the answer and how we need to learn how to let things go. Joel is a 56-year-old man who the world stopped for him, much like Tommy said to him in Jackson. The world stopped. And Joel's been trying to get it to start back up. And he could have had his life continue if he just would have let the little girl go and fulfill the destiny she believed she had. But because he's a selfish man who cares about one person and one person only, we got to the point that we're at right now. A beautiful show. A beautiful experience. Very much liked it. I can't wait for the next season. Michael, I was talking to Mom like last week, and she was like, there's only one episode left, right? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do on Sunday now. She's like, she, and I know she's watched us play it before, but man, I'm happy. You know, this had 8.3 or 8.4 million viewers, despite the Oscars being
bigger than House of Dragon.
Yeah. This is something with real staying power. I never doubted that it would be, I never doubted that it couldn't be a big phenomenon because I know how much I love the game. I was worried about the casting, which, by the way, I want to speak about real quick. I've heard all these rumors that Bella Ramsey wasn't coming back, and I never got where those rumors came from.
I don't know.
Like, here's my thing. Pedro Pascal, I don't remember his age, but he's anywhere from like 38 to 42, right? Joel in the show is 56. They put makeup on him. They age him up. Bella Ramsey's playing a 14-year-old. She's like 20. 21, she's 22. 19. She's 19. Still.
That's Ellie episode 2.
Yeah, like I forget how, it's 5 or 6 years later. So she's either 19 or 20. You know what I mean? Like that's the perfect age. And I heard that she wore a binder, like the whole show, like the whole recording, to make her breasts seem smaller, to make her look younger. So if they can age Joel up with a little bit of makeup and hair dye, they could do it to Ellie. Why wouldn't she be there? And then I read, you might have sent it to me, Kyle, that Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann were like, we're not making the show unless she comes back.
Well, they said the only way they would recast her if she said, I don't want to work on the show anymore.
Yeah, but like Pedro Pascal made...
But they said that they're building season 2 for her.
Yeah, exactly. And that's... Yeah. I was having this conversation with someone at work. Bella Ramsey made like $60,000 an episode, which only $60,000, motherfucker. That's how much you make in a year if you're lucky in this country. For 9 episodes, she made 9 years of like someone making a decent salary in 9 episodes. But Pedro Pascal got like anywhere from I think it was 300,000 to 600,000 an episode, and one of those episodes, he's on the floor dying to death. So I told it to someone, they're like, that seems a little shitty, don't you think? I go, yeah, but the end of season 2,
sweet Disney money on the side.
Yeah, that dude must have stupid money because he's Mando, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I've never seen that show.
It's good.
I know. Everyone tells me, even if you don't like Star Wars, it's really good.
I mean, you don't see him, so
what do you
just hear a sweet voice.
Oh, that's sultry voice. Anyway, I said this to someone, like, don't you think that's a little messed up? Because she's obviously like the star of the show. I go, yeah, but the way this series is going, she's going to be the star. Like, she's going to be making stupid money by the end of this.
Yeah. Very
good show. Anybody have any last words? This is the last time we're going to talk in this format for a minute. Like, we're not getting another.
That's perfect.
We're not getting another show for a while.
Probably 2025.
You think 2025?
Yeah, that's what they said.
HBO goes. Yeah.
That's what they said.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it would be like 2020, 24. The end of 23, maybe.
Nope.
Damn.
Nope.
Really? I hope the next season's a bit longer then. You know what?
It's going by fast.
It did go by fast, but I'm hoping that they just shoot both, like they shoot season 2 and 3 at the same time. like they did with Lord of the Rings.
They probably will do that.
Yeah, just because then, you keep everybody in the same age and shit. And like I said prior, these games take place within a couple days of each other, really. Outside, like, here's the 3-month skip. But I'm a big fan. I'm always the skeptic, and I really thought this was going to be shitty.
What kind of fan are you?
What's up?
Dyson?
Kyle, this is not a diaper situation. Thank you, fellas. Stop. Thank you guys for doing this with me. This has been a blast. It sucks that we won't get to speak about this until either we get a new game, or we get a new set of shows, or we get a comic book or something. I've enjoyed this. This has been something I've looked forward to every Monday for the past 9 weeks. So thank you for doing this with me. It's meant a hell of a lot. If anybody has anything they'd like to say, please say it now. If not, it's time for us to go. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending the last 9 weeks with us. This has been a trip. This has been a lot of fun. I love you. Thank you for watching. Links to everything in the description below. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Join the Discord and let me know. All the links are down there. My Twitter, Kyle's Twitter, everything. I love you very much. Fellas, thank you again. I'll be talking to all of you soon. I love you. Goodbye. Guys, say bye.
Bye.
See you whenever the next season comes out. Well, I guess that's it. I guess that's everything. Okay. Hey, hi, it's Vince. I hope you enjoyed that video you just watched. If you'd like to support in any sort of way, in the description below there's links to my Twitter, the show's Twitter, and the Patreon. You could support at any level, and you could be on screen like some of the names are currently. I hope to see you soon. Thank you for watching, and if you get a chance, check out another one of my videos. I'd really appreciate it. Share it with a friend. Cool. I'll see you guys later. Be safe. I love you. Bye.